Hello everyone, welcome back. This is my third knitting video since I taught myself how to knit at the start of the year. This video is going to be an everything I knit in March, the month of March video, vlog style. So come along with me and let's take a look at what I get up to. I had a very successful knitting month in March. If you watched my first knitting vlog, I knit my first scarf. In my second knitting vlog, I knit my first garment, which was a sleeveless top. I'll link those both down below in my knitting playlist. And in this month, I mean the month isn't even over yet when I'm filming this, but so far I finished a cardigan, I've nearly finished a jumper, and I've got some accessories as well. So the first couple of shots in this vlog is me starting my cardigan, which is the Let's Boogie cardigan by A Honey Knits. I will leave patterns down below in the description box, and I will link my Ravelry in the description box so you can keep up to date with what I've been knitting. But yeah, this video kind of just jumps in at the straight end at me getting very frustrated with trying to knit this cardigan, but hopefully you'll see it come together throughout the rest of the vlog. So yeah, get a cup of tea and I hope you enjoy. I started making my cardigan and I've had to like restart this 3 times. I'm like getting to the point now where I'm just like, I just want to freaking do it. So stop being such a perfectionist and just like keep going even if I do make a little mistake. I'm so sad about it because yesterday it was looking so good. It was looking like a proper kind of cardi, and now it's just like this again. But this one's kind of interesting because I'm doing it from the top down, whereas with my other jumper I was doing it from the bottom up, and so it means like as I make this I can like try it on, which is quite exciting. I'll show you. So this is like the neckline, and at the moment I'm just building up the stitches, like increasing it to like come out, and then we can work on the sleeves. But yeah, so far so good. It is quite late at night, but I thought I'd give you a little update on my cardigan because I've just placed the sleeve stitches onto a scrap yarn and it's looking quite like an actual cardigan now, which is really exciting. Here she is. I am a bit concerned because guys, it looks tiny, but also that's probably because all the stitches are still on this circular needle, and so it looks a lot smaller than it is. But I am going to try it on now just to see how it is fitting. I really have no idea if this is going to fit. I am very hopeful that it does. Okie dokie. That's a cardigan. That's the cardigan, alright. It's a lot smaller than I thought it would be. I thought it would be a lot more chunky and oversized, but I guess that will come when it comes to working on the body. What do you guys think? Does this look alright? Maybe I needed to do a medium and size up for a baggier fit. I'm sure it will be fine. I'm sure it will be fine. It's quite tight around the armpits though. Maybe I should have added a couple more rows. That is quite tight under there. Hey guys, I thought I'd give you a little knitting update of how my cardigan is coming along. Okay, so it's coming along really well. I think the last time I updated you, the sleeve like armholes were a bit tight and I was concerned about that, and I did so much research of what to do, whether to either add more stitches on under the armholes, whether to work a few more increases down the like raglan part, or whether to just block it and then hope it gets bigger. Yeah, I had a lot of different options to decide upon, and I decided upon just adding some increased stitches under the armholes. And I'm so excited to say I finished my first arm, which is so good. So I went for kind of like a balloon sleeve. I worked decreases for 2 rows and then did the cast off, which actually feels a little bit tight. I might have to go back and redo this a tiny bit looser. I did add a lifeline in here in case I needed to rip it back to where the decreases started. Now I'm just working on the second sleeve here. I've done exactly the same thing, so just increased it by 4 stitches underneath the armhole, which has given me a little bit more room around the body as well. Has it? I think so, yeah. It's given me more stitches on the body as well, which I think is fine because the body was looking a little bit small as it was. I'm super happy with how this is going, and I'm really hoping maybe I can finish it this weekend. I just need to do a few more hours on the sleeves and then finish the body off. At the moment, I've kind of stopped it here at a crop length, and I wanted to finish the sleeves before I decided how long to make the cardigan. So once the sleeves are done, then I can finish the body, and that won't take very long at all. So yeah, I'm hoping if I put a good few hours into it, I can get it finished at the weekend or maybe next week. I will keep you updated. Also, I've been updating my Ravelry as I go with this pattern in terms of the changes to the pattern that I've made and stuff like that. So I'll leave a link to my Ravelry down below, and that way you can also see how I'm getting on with my other projects. Hello guys, I am very excited because I have nearly finished my cardigan. I think I'll show you. Okay, so bear in mind, it will hopefully grow a bit once I've blocked it, but she's nearly done. Here we go. So, okay, let me talk you through. I've basically done 2 different types of sleeve cuff, and I need to now make a decision what one that I prefer and then make them the same. So I've still got probably about half an hour to an hour left to go on this. This one's more of like a tight cuff. There isn't much stretch to it, and I'm not really happy with this, to be fair. It's, I don't know if you can tell, it's a bit wonky here at the edge, and it's a bit too tight. Whereas this one, this was like a knit 1, knit 2 together, knit 1, knit 2 together. This side is a bit more cropped, which is kind of good because it means my watch can fit and it isn't too like tight around the wrist area. And it's a bit more of a looser cuff. So I think I'm going to do both of them like this. I do think this one looks better, but this side is comfier in general, and this was knit 2 and then knit 2 together, so it's kind of less of a balloon sleeve. And then the ribbon calls for 10 rows. I've done 8 at the moment just because I wanted to see how that length looked, but I think that length is good. So I think I'm gonna, all my stitches are falling off, aren't they? I'm just getting too excited. Oh no, now I've dropped 2 stitches. Okay, so I'm going to need to finish that and then do a bind off. I taught myself a new bind off, which is basically a stretchier version, but I don't really think I need that on the edge, so I'll just do a normal kind of bind off. But yeah, I'm very excited. So I just need to finish the sleeves, cast off the bottom, and then block it, and I haven't properly blocked anything yet, so I'm planning to do that this afternoon. So you can see here the difference between the 2 cuffs. This one's a lot tighter, more of a quick decrease, and this one is a bit more slanted and a wider cuff. So I think I'm going to do them both like this one here, which means taking this apart, which is annoying. But I've just casted off the end of my cardigan, which is so exciting. You guys, I finished my cardigan. She is all done, and I blocked her as well. So I've never blocked a piece properly before. For my first jumper vest, I steam blocked her, which I don't think properly worked, but I was really happy with the shape of it anyway, so I don't think it really needed it. But for this cardigan, I definitely wanted to try blocking. And this jumper was coming up a little bit small, so I tried to stretch her out a little bit. So I'll insert some footage here of what it looked like. And yeah, it's taken a long time to dry. This house is super cold, which is why I'm very excited to try this cardigan on to show you. Here is what she looks like now. So she's been drying on my yoga mat for the past like 3-4 days, but she has got some like little pins in. I don't know if you can see, just to try and stretch her out, but I'm pretty sure she's dried now, so let's give it a go. Let's take the pins out, and I'm excited about this because you won't believe the amount of times I've stepped on these pins and stabbed on my foot. And maybe at some point I'll invest in some proper blocking mats, but for now this worked. Okay, oh no, my battery's running out. Battery is flashing. Will we be able to try this on beforehand? Oh my god, yay, so good. Oh wow, that feels so much better than it did before blocking. Okay, I'm gonna go put a new battery in and then we'll go and have a look. Okay, here she is. Oh, it feels so different now that it's been blocked. and yeah, it fits so much nicer. The shape is so much baggier. It has got this line down it where I laid it out flat, but maybe I could steam that out. I'm so happy with it. It's so cozy, and the sleeves are a nice length. They're not as cropped as I thought they'd be. The back looks great. I'm just so happy with how I did this construction. I don't know if you can see that. It looks so professional with these increases down the sides, and I'm really proud that I didn't get any holes under the armpits. Like, that all looks so good as well. What I will say is that there are some mistakes. These are mistakes I only realised once I'd blocked it when I was trying to lay it out flat, and this is a monumental mistake. I don't know how I did this, but luckily it's not too obvious. Because of the way it's stitched, it kind of rolls inwards, which is fantastic because it hides this huge mistake, which is here. I somehow dropped a stitch right at the edge of my cardigan. Here it is. So like, I'm missing a whole row down here. Thankfully, because it kind of rolls inwards, you can't really see it, but how did I do that? And I don't even know how I would go about rectifying that, so I might just sew it down so it isn't obvious. But yeah, I don't think it really shows. Like, you wouldn't be able to tell by looking at it. Another thing, I'm not really happy with how this is sitting. It feels kind of hard, and like the shape here is annoying me a little bit. I just feel like maybe the collar needed to be a bit bigger and chunkier, because it just doesn't really feel right in that it's so kind of so tight, but then this opens out so much. I actually saw on Instagram a girl had made this exact cardigan, but she made like a little cord thing, like a bow, so she could bow it here, and I just thought that was the cutest idea, so I might actually try and copy that. I don't know how I would go around doing that, so I'm gonna have to do some research. But yeah, I'm so happy with my cardigan. I'm really happy with how it's come out, and I'm so excited to get loads of wear out of it for the rest of my life. Another thing that I'm really not happy with, and this is something that I've just learnt my lesson on now, is I added a lifeline. Now that the garment is finished, I think that the yarn that I used for my lifeline was too thick, because it's made such a big obvious row where it was, and you can see this the whole way around the entire garment. You can see where the lifeline was. So going forward, I'm going to need to use like the thinnest type of yarn if I do want to do a lifeline in the future. Some people use dental floss, I think, so I might have to get some of that in, because yeah, that it's like what my eye is drawn to when I wear this cardigan, which is so annoying. And I know it adds like some uniqueness and individuality, and like it's very obvious then that I knit it because it has got that imperfection, but yeah, that it does annoy me. But overall, yeah, I am so happy, and I'm very excited to get started on my next project now. Okay, so more knitting updates from me. Since I finished my cardigan, I have been working on my first proper jumper. This is another A Honey knits pattern, and it's called the Frankie Sweater. It's perfect for beginners. I found it super easy so far, and it's literally taken me a week or two to knit this up. This is how it's looking so far. I have used the Drops Polaris yarn in the shade white, I want to say, and this jumper is knit from the bottom up in panels, and so there is a lot of sewing involved. If you're not a fan of sewing, I know a lot of you aren't, then you might not want to do this one, and I would recommend instead doing the Let's Boogie cardigan, because that was knit up in one piece from the top down, which meant there was no sewing involved. But for this one, I knit the back panel, and then I knit the front panel, and then I seamed them together using mattress stitch. This isn't the neatest mattress stitch, and this yarn is so chunky that there is like a lot of fabric in the inside. But then I've knit the collar up in the round, and the sides are still open, so all I have left to do now is finish this sleeve, which I am dropping stitches of because I didn't put a stitch. Oh, I proper fudged that. I need to like get better at putting those little stoppers on the end of my needles because stuff always falls off. But yeah, then you knit the sleeves in 2 sections flat, and then you can seam them on. So I've got one sleeve here all done, and it's got the fisherman's rib, 1x1 rib knit on the hem to match the collar, the bottom. But yeah, then apparently I like lay this flat, sew it all together, and then I'll have my first ever sweater. So I'm so excited to finish this. I don't think it will take me long at all. Maybe another couple of hours just to finish this sleeve to make it the same length as this one, and then we can sew it together. So that's super exciting. And as I said, because this yarn is so thick and chunky, this has taken me no time at all. I think I casted it on just before started my cardigan and then kind of put it to the side for 2 weeks whilst I knit my cardigan up. I can't believe that cardigan only took me 2 weeks, by the way. For a beginner knitter, I think that is pretty impressive. I was just loving the project so much that I would spend any spare moment kind of working on it. Similarly, this has taken 2 weeks, and I mean, it would have taken a lot less had I not been out every night for the past couple of weeks. It's been quite busy socially. So I'm going to get this jumper finished off very soon, definitely by the end of this vlog. And then I've also started another couple of projects, which is so bad. I thought I'd be that kind of knitter that finishes a project before I start on the next one, but I've realised that's not me. So I also have still been working on my Nancy cardigan, which is a all-in-one knit from the bottom up sleeveless waistcoat. This is where I am so far. I have not done much on this at all since you last saw it a couple of vlogs back. It takes me half an hour to do 1 row of this because there are like 250 stitches on this needle, but this is one that I've kind of been taking on the train with me. So when I'm on the tube, I'll put a podcast in and I'll just knit this up, and shortly I will be getting to the point where I need to finish the rib detailing, and then I can move into stockinette and doing learning how to do button bands for the first ever time. But yeah, this is kind of going to be a long project for me. I don't think I'm going to finish this. It'll probably take me a couple more months to finish this, if not loads more months. I really wanted to make my niece a little knitted something, and my sister asked if I could do her a headband. My niece is called Genevieve. She is coming up to 3 years old, and I called her the other day and asked her what her favourite colour was, and she said blue. And I found a really cute kind of bow headband pattern on YouTube, which I will link down below. And so I went to my local haberdashery, which is the tiny little like market stall, and I picked up this yarn. I'm really hoping I took a picture of what this is because I cannot remember what yarn it is, but I chose it because it's kind of soft and it's blue, which is what she wanted, but it's also got these little like bits of colour running through it, which I thought was just a little bit more unique and something a little bit more fun. And so yeah, I've been doing this as well on the train, and I've probably spent about 2 hours on this so far, and I feel like I'm halfway through. This is my first project doing seed stitch. I've never done seed stitch before, but I learnt that for this, and I really like the texture it gives. I think it's really pretty, especially in this fabric, because it has got some different colours running through there. These decreases and then increases will form a little bow at the top, so I basically need to do this again, and then it will wrap around, and this bit will be like wrap into a little bow. I am a little bit concerned that this is going to be a bit big for Jeannie, but hopefully it will be something that she can like hold on to and wear whenever she wants. And I know that if she doesn't wear it too much, then my sister will probably get some wear out of it. I'm quite happy with that, and it's a nice one to kind of just, yeah, pack up and take on a train. And then the third thing I've been knitting this month has been something that has been on my want to knit list for like since I learned how to knit for a couple of months, and it's called the Fluffy Crop Top by Leah Like. It is such a gorgeous pattern, but I've really been struggling with the stitching for this. So this is stitched up in a brioche knit, which is a stitch pattern I have never done before, and it took me so much practice to get the hang of it, but now that I have, I'm so happy because I think this is such a gorgeous stitch. So as I said, I was having quite a hard trouble with the instructions for this. They are not beginner friendly at all. I'd say this is more kind of intermediate kind of stitch pattern reading. There are a lot of phrases in there that I hadn't heard of before, like slip one with yarn in front, brioche knit, yarn over is a thing that I'd never done before, and there is no instruction in this pattern as to what way your yarn over should go, and that is something that I found so difficult when starting this project. And it actually took me posting on the forum on Ravelry, posting a video on TikTok and a video on my Instagram, and I'm so grateful that one of my lovely Instagram followers sent me a video showing me how to do it, and without her I don't think I would have actually started this project because I just found it way too intimidating. But I'm so glad I did. I'm not gonna lie, I think this project is gonna be a long one for me because, again, the rest of the instructions, when I read them, my brain can't compute, can't comprehend some of, not even the terminology, but instructions I'm finding so difficult. So if anyone has knit this before, the Fluffy Crop Top, I would love you, if you want to help me out with a couple of questions I've got, please leave me a comment and maybe we can email or something, because yeah, I've been having trouble. But this is my first ever time knitting with a double strand of yarn, and it's a double strand of mohair. So I've got two balls here that I'm knitting with at the same time. And I've got to say, this itself is a learning curve because the thread is so thin. So whilst it is extremely fluffy and so bouncy and so beautiful to work with, it's also quite confusing because you can see that there's like double threads there, which can be quite difficult to like read. But I'm so excited to wear this top when it is finally, if I ever complete it. I think it will be so nice for the summer months just to stick on over a little crop top. This yarn is the Drops Kid Silk in the shade 20 Light Beige. I think I got 4 balls in total, which is way more than I needed, just in case. It came to £16.60 for this yarn. So once it is finished, it will be quite an affordable top to have made. Also for this, it's called Drops Polaris. I said that already. The colour is 01 Off-White, and it's kind of like, yeah, like a creamy yellow tinged white. I purchased 14 balls of this for this jumper, and I think I'm probably going to have about 4 balls left. I don't know why I ordered so much. I tried to use a yarn converter and that's just how many balls it told me to knit with, and that came to £42. So I'm going to have a lot of yarn of this left over, but maybe I can swap with someone else who needs it, or I can do another project with my leftover balls. I'm thinking maybe a beanie to match the jumper might look cool. One thing I am a bit worried about with this jumper is the length of it. It is very short. It's like fine on the front, but on the back it's very short. So maybe if this doesn't work, I'm hoping blocking it will enlarge it a bit. I can hopefully stretch it out a bit, but otherwise I might have to redo the body and just add some more rows, in which case those extra balls of yarn will come in handy. I'm really hoping I don't have to frog this all back and then extend it, because it would be such a waste of my time. But at the same time, I want something that fits. Saying that, it's supposed to be a cropped jumper, so maybe I'm just overthinking it and it will be absolutely fine once it's done. So that's everything I've got going on so far. I will update you when it comes to sewing this jumper together. Last night I finished my sleeve, and so now all that is left to do on this jumper is sew it together. So I thought I'd do that now and vlog it. Where is my needle? That is the question. I always lose these. Like a tapestry needle. It's just a very cheap plastic one, but it's good because the hole is big enough for the yarn to fit through. So I'm just going to lay it out flat and see what we're working with, and I'm not entirely sure whether to do it inside out or not. Let's just have a look. So I'm going to look on YouTube now, because I guess you need to work out the middle and then attach from there. My jumper is finished. She's all seamed in, she's all sewed together. All that's left to do now is block her, but I thought I'd show you what she looks like before she gets blocked. This is a chunky jumper. Like, the fabric, the yarn I used is so chunky, so with my hair in a bun like this my head looks like an absolute pea when I'm wearing this, so something to keep in mind. Maybe I will wear it with my hair kind of tucked in, but it's hair wash day, so that's not what we're doing. So yeah, she is chunky. Oh, you know what I feel like? I feel like the Michelin Man. Do I look like the Michelin Man? I do.
You didn't.
I didn't, but now I do. You know what? I really like the length. It's cropped, and so it sits at a really nice length around my waist. The arms are huge. Like, I feel like I should have picked up less stitches than the pattern called for, just to make them not so chunky, because right now they are big and baggy. And like, also I think I could have done with less rows and have it a little bit like shorter, but these are good things to learn. Oh, see, I'm having trouble with the yarn. When I wear it, some of the yarn that I've seamed in like pokes back out, even though I thought I did a really good job of seaming. So hopefully when I block it, that will not happen so much. But yeah, this is what she looks like before blocking. And I'm going to go and fill my sink up now, and then we'll see what she looks like when she's dry. So my jumper has finally finished drying. It took so long to dry, probably because I didn't have the heating on, and I'm so much happy with the fit now. It just kind of sits so much better, kind of a bit wider on the body. The sleeves have grown loads. They are super like balloony and baggy now, but I don't mind that. I think this is definitely one that I'm gonna have to dig back out in the winter, because we're getting slightly too warm for this now. But it was such a quick knit. I couldn't recommend this enough, because not only was the wool really affordable, but it's going to keep me very warm, and it was so quick, perfect for a beginner. So yeah, this is how we're looking. Super happy with this.